When you talk to your students about the phases of the moon, there's a good chance that they can match up the pictures of the different phases with the title, half moon, quarter moon, full moon. But what actually causes the phases of the moon? When you ask them that, their ideas about the phases of the moon might be a little surprising. Let's see what they say.
The shadows in the ground make the moon look like it's not full, but it actually is all the time.
I've heard that whenever it shines in the night, it's like the sun's going right behind it to light it up.
Because cheese.
The moon is a star, right?
No. The sun is a star.
Yeah, the sun is a star. Yeah, the sun.
It's a baby star, believe it or not.
What? What?
The sun is sort of like a baby star. All the stars might combine to go to the moon, and even the sun will even go to the moon to shine part of it, or a whole of it, or none of it.
Phases of the moon. You can see that these students have different ideas about phases of the moon. In particular, the one that you're going to see the most common is the idea that it's the Earth's shadow on the moon that causes the phases of the moon. So let's just step back a little bit. Let's look at the Earth, the sun, and the moon, and then what causes the phases of the moon. Okay, so here I have a diagram. You'll see something like this in a book. There's the sun. We're all happy with that. Here's the Earth. It travels in a circle around the sun. And then we have the moon going in a circle around the Earth. Now, you may have students that confuse the time it takes to go all the way around the Earth, the orbit, that's a year, and the time it takes the Earth to rotate, that's a day. So just be aware that that does happen. Now, if we zoom in on just the Earth-Moon system right here, I still have the sun over there coming this way. And here's the moon at different spots around the Earth, and then this is me. I'm really big. Okay. So one of the important things is that no matter where you are, half of the moon is facing the sun and half of the moon is lit up. And the other half is not. And so if I move at different spots around the Earth, if I'm looking at this right here, I view that lit up part of the moon from this perspective. I don't see all of that. I see part of the dark side of the moon, not the dark side of the moon. And it gives a phase of the moon. If I look at the moon right here, I see all of the lit up part. This looks like a full moon. Right here, I don't see any of the lit up part, so this would be a new moon. And then down here is another phase. So you can reproduce this exact same thing with a very simple demo, and here I have it. This is a white ball, and I just took a marker and colored half of it black. So now I can hold this at different positions and view the lit part versus the dark part, and you can reproduce the phases of the moon. So as I rotate this around, you can see it goes through all the phases of the moon just by looking at the white versus the dark spot. And this is something that's great because you can make it, you can give it to the students, they can hold it out and look at it from different perspectives. You could have a student act like the Earth and another student walk around like they're the moon and move it around. So you can reproduce these things. There are animations, there's static diagrams, there's models like this. All of these are things to help students move from an idea about phases of the moon, that like the Earth causes the phase of the moon, to a better idea about phases of the moon. But it doesn't happen right away. Each little piece is part of the process, part of the journey for a student to change their idea from a beginning idea to a more advanced and realistic idea.